he is trying to delay that crouch is strong ever since it hasn't worked not once. Definitely should just go for the tick grabs a little more.
Oh, back throw. This is bad news for ChrisCCH. Block. One more mix-up could do it.
Don't crack, man. Don't crack, man.
Oh, and he goes low. He caught ChrisCCH trying to tech.
Guile win.
And we got a Guile winners final. DB versus ChrisCCH. Good stuff to CCH. Wow.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's Born Free here. We are at Red Bull Conquest in Washington DC, and I'm with my man ChrisCCH. How the hell are you?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the finals. I'm rooting for my boy John Takuchi. I like seeing all the young boys in Capcom Cup.
Right. Because okay, it's Sunday morning, so we already did Red Bull Conquest. So let me ask you about that first. What do you think of this event? It was multi-game. Innovative. Give me your thoughts.
At first, I was a little bit nervous because I thought the format was going to be like a normal team tournament where like one team goes on the stage with like the Guilty Gear dude, Tekken dude, Street Fighter dude against the other team. And I was thinking, so what happens if like, say I win and then my two teammates lose and then I'm just out of the tournament? Because it could happen for anyone, obviously. I'm just like, that would just suck so much. And you can't really give someone advice when they're playing a different game. Yeah. So at first I was like really against the format. Once I saw that it changed to just being like a normal bracket, I thought that made a lot more sense. It's just like double elimination for each game. So I like that format. I thought it worked out pretty well since they wanted to have like all those different games. I think that's probably the best way they could have done it. Overall, it ran pretty well.
Yeah, production was wild, and
production was really good. They treated all their players phenomenally, I have to say. Like, they had that whole player lounge back there. Red Bull always does a great job.
Yeah, indeed. So I actually saw you playing G in casuals. I wanted to ask about G because I think he's an interesting character. I think people are interested. What is your kind of assessment of G as a character?
I think he's really good right now. I think he's in a really good spot where his neutral is like as good as I don't want to say like the top 5, but he has really strong neutral. And then when he knocks you down, he's just a grappler. He feels like just a grappler, but he doesn't have the normal weakness of a grappler, being like kind of weak in neutral, just having to play super random. He can play solid in neutral to an extent. He can't. He's got to go a little bit crazy, I think, but he can play pretty solid, and then he still has all the offense of a grappler. And then his V-Trigger 1 is just like... His V-Trigger 1 is like I don't want to say best in the game, but it's definitely up there with the top tiers. It is an insane V-Trigger. You just do EX dash low, you're +4 on block, it's unreactable, it hits. You get dash punch, it's almost a hard knockdown. You get like meaty command grab after it. They're just guessing all day. You can just do like fireball V-skill, they can't jump on it, they can't do anything.
So do you think this character, going into Season 4, do you think anything needs to change with the character? Or do you think the character has enough? Like, what's the deal?
I think he definitely has enough. I think he, if anything, I would say they should nerf him slightly. Alright. The thing I feel with G right now is this little gimmick is like his charges. I feel like they didn't do his charge mechanic very well. Because when I'm playing G in like most matchups, I want to stay level 2. I don't want to go level 3 because his level 3 fireball is not as good. It has way more recovery. And there's some stuff I can't do as well on offense. Like I'll just get less damage with level 3. And like I can't combo off flip in level 3. I don't get the same juggle combos in level 3. I get the one good thing about level 3 is that his flip is -2. And like against zoners, he gets like a lot more damage off jump ins. He has the really fast dash punch. But in most matches where I want to play footsies, I just want to stay to level 2. I won't even take a chance to get into level 3. So I feel like if they want to change anything about him, I think they should buff him in level 3 or nerf him a little bit in level 2 to make it so that your game plan should be like get to level 3 as fast as you can, and then he becomes like a super strong character.
So you see the character at the moment, even though potentially people aren't used to him, right? You know, they've not mastered him. You think the character right now is definitely at least mid tier going into high tier?
Yeah, I would say like high mid tier. I would put him in top 10 or maybe just outside of it.
Okay.
I think he's up there.
All right, got it. Now you sound very like you know your frames and your data and all that sort of stuff. Are you a scientific-based player, a field-based player? Like, how would you describe the way you think about the game?
I think in season 2 I was a lot more of a scientific player. May have just gotten lazy since then, but I was like looking at I was trying to learn everything about frame data and just trying to figure out the game that way, just like as best as I could. I was always like spending days like making charts of every single Oki option Guile has, like stuff like that, just trying to figure out that whole thing. But when season 3 dropped and now I have the in-game frame data, I'll kind of pick up a character. I don't need to be like having all these different websites and these charts all over the place. I can just have the in-game frame data up, look at that. I can see my advantage on knockdowns. Like I'll pull up the frame data, see what I have there, and then I'll just kind of figure out some sort of Oki stuff. I understand the game well enough now to where I don't need to like look at the hitboxes and hurtboxes and like all the different frame data. I can feel it out more that I'm better at the game. Okay. So I'd say I'm still a pretty technical player, always going to the lab and try to figure out like all the frames and what I can do in certain situations. But recently I think I became more of a field-based player.
Got it. So listen, you're 16 years old, right?
Yes, 16.
Okay, so you're probably the youngest competitor here. I actually bumped into a young lady called Alexis yesterday who's 16, but just a little bit older than you, because I think your birthday's in February or something like that, right?
January, yeah. Close.
January, okay. Anyway, like I was trying to figure it out, and I think she was just a little bit older than you. So I think you're like the youngest player who entered the tournament, probably. But certainly the youngest like player who is in contention and was in Red Bull Conquest, and you know has caught a lot of people's eye recently. Had the Reddit sponsorships. Like we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. I don't really know how to phrase this question. I've got to be honest with you, but like when I was 16, I was a mess, right? You seem pretty well spoken. You seem like you have a game plan. You seem like you know what you want. You seem like you know where you're going. And how did you even get into the FGC? How did you start to take this seriously? Like, is there a story? There must be a story.
Yeah. So the story is basically just like growing up, I just played like every single video game, pretty much any Nintendo game. I would just play anything on like the DS, the Wii, and so I would play Super Smash Bros. Brawl with my brother a lot, and so that was kind of, I know some people don't think of Smash as a fighting game, but I would say that is my introduction to the FGC. It was just
within the scene, Brawl is not really that.
Yeah, Brawl. Yeah, if we're talking about that, no, Brawl is not a good fighting game. Yeah. If you count Smash as a fighting game, Brawl is not a good fighting game. But I was like 8 years old. I didn't care about that. I was just playing the game for fun. I would play with my brother. I would just like fight the CPUs or something like that. Yeah. And so then I just played that game a lot. I kept playing just all sorts of different video games. Probably the first game I like took seriously was I started to play Counter-Strike a lot. Okay. And I kind of just dropped that because I got tired of dealing with teammates. And that's how it is for most other games I try to take seriously. I just got tired of dealing with teammates. And so then, like, Smash for the Wii U came out. So, obviously, I played that with my brother. I can play it online now on, like, different websites. I'll play it on 3DS and Wii U. And then they added Ryu to the game. And then I can't remember if my brother got into Street Fighter 4 before or after they added Ryu. But it was around that time where they added Ryu. Then my brother got into Street Fighter 4 and he was like, yo, this game's really good. You should get this game. I was like, no, I'm just going to keep playing Smash. And so I was just playing Smash 4. I got into like playing Melee on emulators as well, on like online, and I just want to keep playing Smash. And eventually I saw like a really good deal on Street Fighter 4 on Steam, so I was like, okay, I'll buy Street Fighter 4. And then I was playing it, but I was just so against it just because my brother had been telling me to play it for so long. It's like, I don't want to play this game, but I'm going to do it anyways. And so eventually it just got to the point where I was like, the online, this game is so much more fun. I was just having so much more fun playing this game against other people than I was in Smash. And so it just kind of got to a point where I stopped playing Smash seriously and started to play more Street Fighter 4. And then once Street Fighter 5 came out, I was like, all right, I'm done with Smash completely. I want to actually get good at Street Fighter 5, because I'll be honest, I was garbage at Street Fighter 4. The whole lifespan of Street Fighter 4, I was garbage. But once Street Fighter 5 came out, I was like, I want to get good at this game. So I started to actually, I wasn't like immediately like I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna win Evo, but I just wanted to like say I just want to rank up in the game and get to a high rank online or something like that, and then I just kept playing it that way.
I mean, are you a studious person? Like, what gave you the discipline? Because it does take discipline to get good at a game, unless you have some sort of natural talent. Like, there are some players who just grind and somehow it works. But most players will take a sort of studious, like, approach. You know, they'll be like, okay, let me look up videos, let me look up frame data, let me, like, this is how I'm going to get better, or let me join the local scene. Like, what did you do once you decided I want to be good? What did you do?
Well, when Street Fighter 5 came out, I was one of those people that was just like, I'm gonna grind rank. I played a whole bunch of different characters. I just labbed what I knew how to lab. I would go on the Street Fighter subreddit. I would find some resources there on how to improve. And then obviously my brother knew the game better than I did, so he would teach me some stuff. And so for a while, I just grinded. It was probably like when I joined a Discord, and I don't know if you know West Coast Please, but he was the first person when I was like, one night I was just complaining about him. I think it was about Laura. I remember the night where I was just going off on how much I hated Laura, because in season 1 I was just so mad at like everything. Yeah. I just hated all characters like Mika and Laura. I couldn't deal with them at all. And so I was just like ran into him, and he would just give him, like, basically tell me, you need to think and actually lab your options, because the situations you're telling me you have options, you just haven't bothered to actually learn them. And it was kind of at that point I was like, oh, I have to actually, like, when I'm losing to something, I have to actually think about why I'm losing and not just say, like, this character's stupid, it's a horrible matchup, and then I just go back into training mode. I keep practicing these combos or these meaties or whatever, and then I go back and like try to win my next match and probably do the same thing. So I would say that's the point where I was kind of like, when I lose, I wanted to figure out why I actually lost instead of just mindlessly grinding forever.
So you started to formulate your way of improving, basically.
Yeah, at first I was just like, all right, if I lost to this, I want to figure out what do I have to beat this, and then from there, the meta of the game just kind of evolves as you keep looking like, okay, well, if they do this, I can do this, but if I do this, then they can do this, and it'll keep on going forever and ever.
Now, so it was interesting. So many things you said there which are interesting. One is that you got tired teammates. I've heard that. I often ask why fighting games over other games, and fighting games seem to attract people who really don't want to deal with teammates, which is interesting. But also, it does take a lot of courage, because everything is on you.
Yeah.
You know, if you lose, it's your fault. If you win, it's great because it's all you. But if you lose, it's your fault. Did you ever have an issue with that? Like, did you ever feel? Because a lot of people drop fighting games because they're like, oh, they can't take it. You know, like they literally can't take it emotionally. They can't take it because they know it's themselves. Did you ever have a problem with that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I still do, where it's like, sometimes it's like I'm not good enough. You know, I lose, and you have nothing to blame. But at the same time, I like not having anything to blame. I can't blame teammates, and like when I would lose in a game, I would just be mad because sometimes I would be like the highest ranked person on my team, and it's like, what do I do better? I don't know. It was just my teammates, and it's just so frustrating because it feels like there's nothing more I could do. But I mean, that's pretty much it. That would just frustrate me because I would see either my teammates. Well, actually, it was more stressful when I was like playing with my teammates and they were just like berating me because either I'm bad or they're doing badly and they're just mad and they want something to yell at. Yeah. So that was more stressful than like what I say to myself about like if I'm being bad. It's like, well, there's these other 4 people on my team that are just berating me like you're garbage. You're just like they're voting to kick me. That's more stressful for me than like just having to deal with myself.
I understand.
Like talking about me.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. So you've had a few sponsorships, right? So Reddit have sponsored you. How did that feel to be sponsored by the community?
That felt really good. I remember like they put up the sponsorship thing, and like 5 hours later, one guy just donated the whole thing. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was $500. So it was like 5 hours, the whole thing was fulfilled, and I was just I thought like it was fake or something. Like you just like you didn't actually pay that much. But then I got sent there. Just like it felt really good because they first contacted me right after Red Bull Proving Grounds in fall, where I got top 3, but I couldn't go. And so they contacted me like, hey, we want to send you to an event because because of my age thing, I couldn't go to the Red Bull Proving Grounds finals they had that year. They were just like, we'll send you to an event. And that at that time it made me like feel so much better because I was heartbroken when I couldn't go to that event. I was so sad. And so when I heard like I can go to a CBT event, because I'd only gone to like one premier event at that time. I'd only gone to SCR was my only premier event. I did pretty good at that tournament. And so I was just like, I can go to more premier events, and that's all I wanted to do was just go to more premier events. And so when I saw that I could actually do it, and people were sending me them, people wanted to see me play at these premier events, it made me just really happy. I
bet. And this year you being supposed to go to Capcom Cup, is that right?
Yeah, so, Nacer sent me to this one. He sent me to Combo Breaker as well. Because he just like, I remember he just like randomly messaged me on Twitter like, hey, you going to Combo Breaker? I think I talked to him like maybe a couple times before that. I was just like, no, why? I want to send you. I'm like, what? I was like genuinely confused. But then, he sent me. He's super nice about the whole thing. I met him. He's a super nice guy. And that was like even more crazy than our Street Fighter, because I had talked to like our Street Fighter dudes before. So I knew like Joe Monday and people like that. Obviously, I competed in their tournament, so it made sense. But yeah, Nacer just contacted me. I was just like, I was so confused. But I'm really glad he does it. He's super nice about it, and yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of good stuff recently in terms of sponsoring players and all sorts of other things for the community.
Yeah, he does a lot for the community. I know like Justin Wong does the same sort of thing. Yeah. I know that him and Justin are good friends. I hope to do something like that one day if I'm successful enough to send people out to events so they get a chance to compete, because I know a lot of people it's really a struggle to get out to events even though they have the skill to like win or place super high at them.
True. Now I just want to talk about Seattle, because you're from Seattle, right? So we were just talking earlier, so tell me again, what's going on with the Seattle scene right now? Because I think of it as strong, but then I think a few players have left now. What's been going on?
So like right now people are starting to get back in the game. For a while, like Dr. Danny Pham wasn't really playing. Kyle P is always kind of like, he's not focused on the game too hard. I know he's been playing a lot more Dragon Ball. Jabrilla's like been playing the game. He's always just like off and on the game. He's like, sometimes he hates the game, sometimes he doesn't. And then like Nightmare 2450 was, he's like quit the game completely, which is sad because he was like one of the people I was never able to beat in tournament. In all the monthlies, I don't think I ever beat him. But right now, like, it seems like people are starting to get back into the game. I think some of them are happy seeing the like, input lag being reduced. And then, so I remember during the summer, Nephew was staying in Seattle. So that was pretty cool because obviously he's super strong. He plays Colleen.
Done very well this weekend.
Yeah, he did very well this weekend. So I've played him a lot, and he messes me up most of the time. Usually we go pretty even, actually, but he mixed me up.
So on the input lag, I've asked this for a few people. Have you felt it?
Not really. I went to training. The first thing I did was I went to training mode with Sakura because I wanted to see if I could confirm crouch medium kick. And it's like, I could probably do it like 60% of the time, and now I can maybe do it 70% of the time. It might just be placebo. It's like a tiny difference. Personally, I haven't noticed any. I just completely forget about it. I don't know. I notice like any differences, personally.
Okay. Well, either way, I think it's a good thing. Obviously, even if it turned out in the end to be small, eventually we got there. We come from 8 down to I don't know what it is now, like 4 or 5 or something like that. I think it's 3 on the PC and 4 on the play. So that's pretty cool. I was going to ask you about the history of your name, but that's just dumb because your name is Chris. Yep. We talked about your history in fighting games, wonderful game at the moment, and then we'll talk about Guile. But the game at the moment, it's changed a little bit over time. Every season, there's something happens. The last season in particular, there was a second V trigger. How do you feel about the game at the moment? What do you like about it, and what would you like to see change?
Right now, I think the game is pretty balanced. I think in Season 2, the game I felt was less balanced. Like, the characters that were bad were really bad. Pre-patch Season 2 Fong was just hilariously awful. But the thing about Season 2 is that robbery was so strong that any character could compete, because any character could get you in the corner and throw you over and over and over again. So it didn't matter how weak your character was if you could like get them in the corner. It's just that the top tier characters were the consistent characters. If you're playing a low tier character, you couldn't consistently win. Whereas now I feel like most people that play lower tier characters, they'll have like some good days, but their good days aren't like making it to top 8 or something. It's more like top 16 or top 32, because now with the meta of the game is different now, where I think it is more footsie based. It is what people have been asking for. It's a lot more neutral focus. You can't just throw loop. Feature is not as strong. But the thing about that is I said the balance is good because most characters have strong options, but you look at like Ryu, he's got some okay stuff actually. He's got okay footsies. He's just okay overall. Then you look at Akuma. Akuma has everything. There's no reason to play Ryu when Akuma is Ryu but better. There's like, when you look at the top 5, they're pretty much all characters that just do things a little bit better than the rest of the cast. They're not like extremely broken compared to the rest of the cast, but they just do things better than them to where there's not really a point to play like it. You want to play Nash? Well, just play Guile. You want to play Ryu? Play Akuma. You want to play, I don't want to say like you want to play Dawson, you play Monat, because Dawson's he's a little bit different. Monat's kind of got her own thing going on, but like for the most part, that you can't really be creative with characters as well in this game. So I think the balance is good, but the issue is just that the top 5 does everything a little bit better. Yeah, so if you want to be competitive, you have to play a top 5 character, or you will just always be. You can win against Akuma playing Ryu. You just have to be better than them straight up, because they just have way more options.
Got it. All right, so on the character front, that's kind of interesting. There are characters that have similar things going on, but there's a clear winner, and you would like to see maybe some buffs from those lower characters, or maybe more options.
Yeah, like, well, something I'll add to that is like, I realized recently just playing Sakura, I don't think Sakura is as bad as some people say, but I'll just like, when I'm playing Sakura, she doesn't have too much unique about her. She's just footsies. But when I'm playing footsies with her, I'm fighting against all these characters that just have straight up better footsies. So I can beat them, but I'm just making things harder for myself for no reason. Like her corner game, it's good. Her footsies, they're pretty good. She's got stand-like kick, but then I'm fighting these other characters that are really good. And so I can win with Sakura. It's just, why would I do that to myself when I could play Guile, or if I was like just playing Sakura because I like Shotos, I would play Kuma. So it's just like, I realize that there's no reason to play Sakura really, because there's not enough unique about her for me to like become a really strong character specialist with her, to where I know all these things about the character. I'm like perfect with her. Well, not perfect, but like close to perfect with her. And I could win that way, because even if I do that, I'm just going to be like this much better if I master everything about this character specifically. It feels to me like I just need to get better at footsies if I want to win more with her. But if I'm going to do that, I might as well play a character with strong footsies.
Yeah, I totally get it. So let's talk about Guile, because Guile's your main, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Alright, so in Street Fighter 4, when I picked up the game, one of the things I couldn't do is I couldn't remember special moves. And so I asked my brother, like, alright, who has the least amount of special moves in the game? And he was just like, well, Guile. I was like, alright, I'm going to play Guile. And so I was just like playing, and I picked Guile. I was like, alright, so what are the 2 special moves? And so then he had to explain how charge moves work to me. Yeah. And I don't know, I don't think I figured it out the first time. But I was just like, alright, got these 2 special moves, back, forward, up, down. Alright, can remember that one. So then I played it for a while. I played a bunch of different characters, but I was just having fun with Guile because, again, 2 special moves. I couldn't do like DP motions very well, or course or forward motions. Charge motions were easier for me as well. So it just kind of felt like this is a character I could play, I could actually do things with, whereas I would play like Ryu and I couldn't even do like a basic combo that needs a DP or something. Right. And so I was just like, all right, I can play him. And I learned like jab, jab, crouch, medium punch, flash kick. I was like, all right, I got a combo now. Or I could do at least crouch, jab, flash kick. I could not do like jab into Hadouken as Ryu. I just could not do it. So I just kept playing Guile because I felt like I could at least play the game with this character. Yeah. And that was more fun than mine.
That was in 4.
Yeah, 4.
So in a sense, you're a character loyalist.
You could call me that, except I play like so many characters all the time. There's never been a point. Actually, probably like the end of season 1 was a point where I was like, I'd have no other character I can play seriously. That's the only point I could think of where like I wasn't playing any other character. Like end of season 1, very beginning of season 2, I was like only Guile. But other than that, I've always been playing some other character on the side.
So okay, so do you? Because I mean, so you play Guile in Street Fighter 4. You play Guile in Street Fighter 5. If Guile got nerfed significantly in the next season, do you feel like you'd have no issues walking away?
Yeah, I don't think I would have any issues walking away. If I have a plan already. Sakura, G, Guile, one of those characters has to be good. They're probably just gonna buff Guile because I don't know what the fuck Capcom's doing, but they're as long as either one of those characters is strong, like top 10 strong, I'll play one of them. Or I mean, I'll find another character that I really enjoy. Maybe a DLC character will come out. Yeah. I would be down to play Sagat as well. I don't put too much work into Sagat because again, he's one of those characters that's like I can play Sagat, but I already play Guile, so there's no matchups where I'm gonna counterpick from Guile to Sagat, so I'm just not gonna play him right now. But if Sagat was actually really good, I would totally play Sagat.
Do you think you have a style of character?
A style of character? The one thing I do need is a fireball. Whenever I'm playing a character without a fireball, G and Sakura have G's fireball is actually really good. It's just different. Yeah. Sakura's fireball is bad, but it is a fireball. I can make it work. Okay. I just need a fireball, or else I feel like something is just going wrong. And
so even though we're in a game which is less focused on zoning, you still like that opportunity to be able to use a fireball to pressure people with fireballs. Yeah,
it's just like if I don't have a fireball, I felt it was G too because fireball doesn't go full screen. But like if I'm full screen without a fireball, something just feels wrong. Okay. And with G, I've more learned of like what to do there. And with G, of course, if I'm full screen, I can just charge. So who cares about having a fireball? But yeah, it's just I think I can play characters without a fireball. It's just I never feel totally comfortable if I'm not using a fireball. But I think I'm more of like I'm not a super aggressive player. I would say I'm more on the defensive side. But there's no. The only character style that I would say I really can't play is like a full grappler, like Geef or Abigail. I can't play those type of characters. I just do not have any fun doing it. I can play G because his style in like neutral just feels like a regular character for the most part. He's got the charge gimmick, but I like those kind of gimmicky characters. They're fun. But like a super slow, just like does a ton of damage grappler style. I don't like that style.
So I heard that so have you developed, I mean, I heard that you have a strong work ethic, like in terms of training and all that sort of stuff, because, you know, like we've been talking for a little while now, and still I'm thinking, how's this, he's 16, he hasn't been playing fighting games too long, and he's notable, and he's beating people, and he's making, you know, waves, and he's qualified for Conquest, and blah, 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 right? So, like, how much work do you put in? Like, can you describe it? Like, from a day-to-day, like, a lot of people don't really know, you know, how much work do these guys put in? How much time do they spend each day? What types of things do they do? What sort of training do they do?
So, season 1 and 2, I play the game all the time. I think I would probably average 8 to maybe 10 hours some days.
A day?
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly days where I would play like hardly any at all, but there are some other days with like I would either be playing the game or I'd be studying the game super hard for like the entire day.
Wow.
Season 1 and 2, I don't do it too much anymore. There'll be some times where I'll be like just playing one person for a long time, but and I was also for like my whole life I've been homeschooled. Now I'm going to school, so I don't have that much time to play the game anymore. So nowadays I'll probably like spend 2 to 4 hours playing. Now I mostly just spend time thinking about the game because I don't need to lab the game as much anymore. All that time I spent playing in Season 1 and 2, I understood the game really well, and so I don't need to spend as much time anymore. But yeah, Season 1 and 2, learning the game, I was real into it. I was playing.
So when you were learning the game, when you said you were spending some days where you weren't actually even playing the game, you were just learning the game. I forget the exact words you used, but it sounded like, what were you doing? Were you watching match videos? Were you reading frame data? Were you in the training room trying things, like, or all of the above?
I mean, I would usually just like, I would have the game open on one monitor and then I'd have whatever else I'm doing on the second monitor, which would be watching matches. I think I tried to watch like every match of Capcom 2016 and like actually analyze them going into Season 2. So I did that for a while. Like I said, I would try to create like spreadsheets of all like Guile's Oki options. I'd be looking at hitboxes and hurt boxes, frame data, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. Proper work. That's
yeah.
proper work.
And like I would just try to figure out Guile's corner game for a long time because it's like weirdly complicated. Especially going from Season 1 to Season 2, the change they made to him changed everything in his corner game. So I had to relearn that whole thing. But yeah, it was mostly just like I would spend a lot of time looking at frame data and like the nitty-gritty of the game, trying to figure out that part, and studying matches, or just like talking about the game to people. And I'll still do that stuff to some extent. I don't focus on frame data as much anymore, just because I don't think it's important, but it's not as important, especially now, like I was talking about the in-game frame data. I mostly rely on that and just like a page of the characters, startup, recovery, and active frame, stuff like that. I just rely on that sort of stuff. But
all right, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. So at the end of this tournament, by the time this comes out, people, I suspect they will do some sort of tease at the end of this tournament for Season 4. You played Street Fighter 4,
yeah.
So originally I wasn't going to ask this question because I didn't know you played Street Fighter 4, but you did. So are there any other characters out there that you would like to see return?
So there's a character I play in Street Fighter 4 that like goes against my current style completely. I played Yun a lot just because I liked because he was top tier. He was so good, and I just like doing his combos.
Well, right?
Yeah, he was fun. I was never like good at him at footsies at all, but man, I love doing his combos so much. I didn't even like playing the character. I just like doing his combos, and he's a cool character. So if there's any character I would like to come back, the characters that I want to come back when Street Fighter 5 came out, obviously Guile, Sakura. I got those characters now, but I would really like to see Yun come back. I don't know what they would. It'd be kind of weird because if you release Yun and then Yank's not out, something's missing there. So you kind of need to have both of them.
Twins, right?
Yeah, you can't have just one of the twins. Yeah. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if like they did something where, I don't know, almost be like a stance change, or it's like they're like one character combined in some way. Maybe V-Trigger changes them somehow. I don't know. I just thought that would be.
Yeah, it might make people a bit salty. Like if you're a Yang main,
people might not like it, but yeah.
Okay, so who are your favorite players?
Favorite players? The generic ones like Tokido, Daigo. Everyone says those. I don't know, something about. I really like just watching John Takeuchi because I feel like he's always playing so good, but he just doesn't win. I don't know why, but I feel like he's always just playing like so good. I really like to watch him. It was kind of like Evo Japan when I saw him playing. I was just really impressed by everything he was doing. He was getting super enthusiastic, so I like to watch him. I like to watch Punk as well, just because he plays any character in the game. He doesn't even care. He's just gonna play him so clean. What other players do I really enjoy watching?
You don't have to.
What?
You don't have to think of any more if you don't want to.
That's quite a few. I mean, it's mostly just like, I watch like Kaba, Daigo do because they all play Guile.
All the Guile players.
Yeah, I watch all the Guile players. I couldn't really ever find like too many Sakura players to watch. I would just look on like CFN and look through their ranked replays because there aren't really that many top Sakura players besides like Dopanga, Rio.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's not a lot of those around. It's only been a short, let's call it a career. I don't know whether to call it a career or not really. But like you've come onto the scene. What do you feel is your like proudest moment? It doesn't necessarily have to be like your most successful moment. It just could be something. What do you feel is your proudest moment in fighting games?
Proudest moment? I feel like I haven't actually thought about this question too much because I'm not too sure. I feel like the biggest upset I've ever pulled is definitely against Fudo at SCR. But it's always unfortunate because I'm never on stream. Like all my matches are always off stream. I don't know if I ever have one that you could like look up and watch it because it might honestly just be from like sometime during a Seattle monthly. I think probably honestly my proudest moment would be when I qualified for Red Bull Proving Grounds in fall or Red Bull Conquest in Seattle. I would say Red Bull probably Red Bull Proving Grounds in the fall season, like the last tournament they had to get all the points, because like I remember I had some close matches and then like Jabril beat me 3-0 and then I immediately had to fight Dr. Danny Pham in losers, and it was basically like the winner of that would qualify. So, and obviously Dr. Danny Pham has always been like one of the strongest players in the scene for as long as I've been around it, and so I managed to beat him and qualify, and then that was, I think I got second in that tournament because I fought Nightmare 2-4-15 finals and he beat me. But that tournament I was just so happy because I from the beginning of the year that was my goal for the whole year, because I knew I wasn't going to attend many CBT events. It was going to be like SCR Northwest Majors, but I really wanted to make it into Proving Grounds, and so at the end of the year I finally made my goal. And then at Red Bull Conquest I feel like I wasn't quite as proud of what I achieved because I was one of the favorites. I don't know if I was one of the favorites going to the tournament, but I felt like I was one of the favorites. I didn't have quite as much to prove as when I was going into the Seattle scene back in 2017. So if I had to choose one, I'd probably be Red Bull Proving Grounds in the fall, even though I didn't actually win the tournament. But
well, you weren't allowed to go, right? So for those of you who don't know the story, I'll just really quickly summarize. Chris qualified for Red Bull Proving Grounds finals, and then the rule was you had to be 18 and over.
16.
You had to be 16?
Over 16. I was 15.
And you were 15?
Yeah, I was 15 at the time. It was October, so I was like 3 months away from being 16. So it stung a little bit.
So you had to be 16, he was 15. This year, maybe the rule's the same, I don't know, but you're 16 this year. So,
well, what really sucks is like, I didn't ever see anything specific in the rules. They had to look for a long time and like contact Red Bull. There was like nothing in the rules I could find that said you had to be over 16. Now I think because of me, they make it very clear on the Red Bull Conquest stuff, like you must be over 16 to qualify for prizes. So yeah, rules are the same this year.
Yeah. All right. One thing I want to ask you about is, do you ever feel pressure, like, or do you just have that young man sort of, there's no pressure on me, this is all fun type vibe going on? Like when you first went on stream, for instance, like, did you feel nerves, pressure, anything like that, or no?
I mean, I feel nervous. I think everyone feels a little bit nervous. When I'm playing though, it's not that bad at all. It's like when I'm waiting to play, it's awful, and I'm so nervous. Just the whole time I'm just battling nerves. Like when like from an hour from when I'm about to play, I'm just so nervous. But when I'm actually playing, it's not too bad. I just do my thing when I'm playing.
So you're pretty good at focusing in on the game. Once you get it, you're like...
Yeah. Well, once I'm in the game, it's fine. It's just I need to get better at before like the game happens. And as I've gotten better, I've gotten more confident. So it's not happening as much anymore, but it's still... I
mean, if you're already getting there at 16, you're going to be all right, in a few years' time, that's for sure. That's great. All right, some more general questions before we close this out. General fighting games. Do you play any other fighting games?
Not really. I messed around in Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue Cross Tag, Eunice, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't have too much fun in a fighting game unless I'm really willing to invest my all into it, and I just don't have that drive to do it for any game other than Street Fighter, because I feel like if I was to do that, I would have to not focus on Street Fighter, and I just don't want to do that. I just want to focus on Street Fighter, and so whenever I'm like, I have free time to play a fighting game, I'm thinking, do I want to play Street Fighter or do I want to invest this time into a different game? And I just can't justify doing it for another game. If another game came out and I was just playing it, I was just like, this is the most fun game of all time, then I would probably like put some time into it and become serious. But
What about, I mean, there's a few games on the horizon, but one in particular is Smash, and you've been talking about Smash. Are you thinking about playing that game? Smash Ultimate.
yeah, Smash Ultimate. I see it. Ganondorf has got a whole like redesign. He's back to Ocarina of Time Ganondorf, and he got this sword. They're finally letting him use this sword that was just a taunt forever. So I'm a little bit interested in that because Ganondorf was always my main like Smash 4 and Melee. So I'll definitely play the game. I don't see myself becoming serious in it though. I think I'll follow like the competitive scene. I still follow like the Melee scene and the Smash 4 scene a little bit. So I'll probably follow the scene, but I don't see myself putting in a ton of work to become like a top player in that game.
Gotcha. Okay, how about like general video games for fun? You said you used to play Counter-Strike. It sounded more competitive.
Yeah.
Do you play anything for fun?
Currently no, because I just started in school, so I've been busy. I used to play like all sorts of games, pretty much any like popular game on PC specifically. The last game I like played for fun really was Xenoblade 2 on the Switch. Xenoblade's like my favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah. What other games did I even play? That's like, I think the only game I've like played more than just a little bit in like the past 6 months probably would be Xenoblade 2. I think like the past few games, like the past 6 months that I've played, I think Xenoblade 2 is the only one that I spent time playing. But if I'm to play like, if I'm going to play a game, it's probably going to be like an RPG game like Xenoblade. The only other game I'm looking forward to, obviously Smash, and then the new Fire Emblem game. I like the Fire Emblem franchise too.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, outside, so you got school, you got Street Fighter. Is that it, or do you have any other little hobbies that people, you know? It's like a little window into your life. Is there anything else that you're interested in?
Not too much. I play piano like off and on. Sometimes I'll be really into it and playing it a lot. Currently, I'm just playing it sometimes, like rarely. I try to keep up at least a level of competency, so if I ever decide to get like seriously back into it, then I won't just be lost and have to relearn everything. So yeah, I just play it every now and then currently.
Always fighting game players and musical instruments, man. It's like it goes hand in hand. All right, cool. So to be honest, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the interview.
No problem.
Good luck in the future. I'm sure we're going to see more and more of you. And is there anything you want to say to like the people at Reddit or anybody who supports you?
Let me think. It's my one chance. This is where all the pressure comes in.
I mean, hey and thank you is pretty good.
I mean, yeah, obviously a huge thank you to Red Street Fighter, because like send me out to NCR. That's where I got to play like a ton of casuals against really strong players there. That changed like my lookout on the game completely. Thank you to Nacer as well, because he sent me out to Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker has been my favorite event of the year. When people say that Combo Breaker is the best FGC event, I mean, I haven't gone to CEO yet, maybe next year, but Combo Breaker has been by far like the best event for me. They had like 10 dedicated casual setups. Everyone was playing there. They never took down the setups until like the end. So yeah, Combo Breaker was great, and that's a tournament that I wasn't even looking to going until Nacer was sending me. I didn't even like think about going to that one. So huge thank you to both those guys, because I've improved a lot through both of those. Shout outs to the US West Street Fighter 5 Discord, because since the Seattle scene like they don't play too much anymore. It's partly my fault because I don't go out to the few events they do have. But I play against a lot of people on that Discord, and there are some really strong players on there that don't really go out to events, but when they do, you'll see them.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again, and we're gonna say goodbye to these guys. See ya, guys.